Hello and welcome to day 3, the final day at Sign & Digital UK 2018. And if the last 2 days are anything to go by, you are going to have an absolute blinder. If you're coming down to the show, you have absolutely not got to miss the chat show. Brand new for this year. Colin, the presenter, has been rocking it there on stage. We have got loads of fantastic content. Get yourself here, get in the show and have a brilliant day.
Well, we brought a breadth of technology with us to the show. There's something for every business, there's something for every application.
People are surprised to see the machine. It's good that people are coming by seeing a brand new solution that's on the market as well.
We've got all sorts going on, so we've got tools from sign makers to wrappers to tinters, everything really, anything you could wish for.
Sign Digital has always been a great show for sign makers in the UK. This is a great way for us to get out and meet lots of them.
We always get good business from it, you know, whether it's a sign guy or sign specifiers, designers, we always get a good response, good quality leads and things like that.
What I'd like to think that we've delivered today through that panel is just some insight, some information. Hopefully we've left them with things to think about.
What a stunningly superb second day here at Sign & Digital UK 2018. Make sure you join us tomorrow for the third and final day. 10 AM those doors open, so make sure you get yourself here.
We have some car wrapping taking place here at Sign & Digital. This is a car that I've never seen before until I arrived here at the show. And there's quite a few things. I've never seen a car being live wrapped either. Here to tell us more about what's happening here at the Spandex booth is my good friend now, Ben. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm very well. Very good, thank you.
So tell us, first of all, what it is we're looking at here.
So in terms of the vehicle, we have a Radical RX track car. In terms of the products we're using, we're with our partner 3M and we're promoting 3M's 1080 psychedelic wrap film. The film benefits from microcomply technology, so it offers the applicator the ability to have a slidable product with a repositionable adhesive.
Yeah, and we can see right here. So let's just wander over here and see what Gavin is doing. So you're working to apply this wrap right now, and you mentioned this is the psychedelic.
Psychedelic, so this is the film which has a colour shift. So in different lights we see different effects and different colours coming through.
And how is this from, you're at the sharp end of the wrapping, how are you finding it, all right?
So far so good, no problems here. Easy peasy.
You've missed a bit. No, I'm not going to do that.
Professional on the case. We've got professional on the case.
Professionals on the case. Just tell me a little bit about the car, because obviously it's very different to the kind of road cars that we tend to see, and it makes Gavin's job a little bit more difficult as well.
Make it a lot more difficult. So it's a Radical RX. It's a track car. It's a 600 horsepower racing car, 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. It was picked deliberately to allow us to show the capability of the products and to show off these guys' skills.
Made in Britain as well. What sort of value are we talking about here?
Over 100,000.
Over 100,000 pounds. I'm going to step away from it just in case I accidentally fall over and break it. Let's have a wander over here, because obviously the car wrap is a big part of what you're doing here. It's bringing lots of people, as we can see, to your booth, but you've got other things going on here as well. Tell me more about those, Ben.
Certainly, yeah. So we are advertising and promoting our partners with HP and Epson for inkjet printing. Okay. And mainly this section is dedicated to our own brand, Image Perfect. So Image Perfect is a range of signage and digital products, and on display we have products suitable for wall applications. So we have our textile self-adhesive wall covering, Image Perfect 2324. On the reverse side we have an Image Perfect 2558 multi-grip, suitable for very difficult to stick to surfaces. So things like brick, low surface energies are ideal. We're also promoting textiles. So Image Perfect has a broad range of textile products, both for static systems as well as illuminated. So on the opposite side of here, it's pre-illuminated.
We're making our cameraman work very hard today, which I secretly kind of like. But oh, actually, no, this is definitely worth coming around to. So this is essentially a light box, isn't it?
It is a light box. So the box is actually double-sided, illuminated. We've got a block-out film on one side, so for things that don't need to be illuminated, and then we've very much got the backlit film.
Let's wander over here, because I'm not going to lie. Spandex, when I hear the name, I think about pants, yes. But I have learned specialised
anodized extrusions.
And you guys have been around for quite a long time, haven't you?
41 years now.
And are responsible for bringing the first dedicated sign printing computer into Europe.
Absolutely, in the early 80s, yeah.
Fantastic. And whereabouts are you based?
We are based in Bristol, but we're also a global business, so we span 15 countries.
Now, you brought quite a few toys, quite a few things here to the show. Why have you chosen Sign and Digital as the place to bring all of your toys and show them off to people?
Well, we're very much the market leader in providing Sign and Digital users and converters with the products that we supply, so it's our ideal market.
And how are you finding it so far? Good conversations?
So good. Very good so far.
Brilliant. Well, listen, Ben, thank you very much for bringing your beautiful new products and also your fantastic car here to the show. Have a great rest of the show.
Thank you.
Cheers.
If you want a one-stop shop here at the Sign and Digital Show UK 2018, then ATEC is the place to be. And why is it called that? Well, it's called that because of this fabulous guy here, Alan. Now, his wife told him that the original title of his business needed to be shortened, and this came apparent. So it's good that you listen to your wife. Now, Alan, tell us about why we should come here to see you at the show.
Okay, so we're a one-stop shop for digital printing companies. We sell large format printers. This is a 3.2 metre wide CMYK plus light cyan and white ink, printing at 40 square metres an hour, very high quality. In addition to that, we do all of the finishing equipment that goes with it. So we can cut it, sew it, weld it, put eyelets in it, laminate it and UV coat it. And we also have all of the media that goes into the machine. And a lot of specialists, companies now 36 years old, and we have a lot of experience. So, yeah, if somebody's looking to buy a good piece of equipment and we have a lot of experience and good service, then we're probably the place to come and see.
Wow, you do an awful lot. That's absolutely incredible. Now, how long have you been coming to the show here?
On and off, I think we've been coming for about 12 years.
12 years, so it must be a pretty good show then.
It is, it's a very good show. We get a lot of people come by, people come back to see us year after year, and they're always looking for something new. This is a new offering for this year, so they come by and say, hello, have you got anything new? And we say, yeah, we got one of these. Yeah, so this is the first time we've shown this printer.
Why do you think it has that effect then, the Sign and Digital Show?
Sign and Digital is a very good show because you get a good mix of suppliers, and you can come and you can learn a lot of things because a lot of workshops going on, and you can also see new things and do a lot of networking with suppliers and like-minded customers.
Great. Well, come and see Alan. He's got everything that you need to know right here.
Back here at the main stage, I'm joined by Govinda. You've also been talking about the workplace and how design and also application of that design with some of the technologies that are being showcased here at Sign and Digital. Just take us back to, I guess, the ethos. Why is design in the workplace becoming, it seems, increasingly important, do you think?
Well, I think design in the workplace is becoming very important because, we were talking earlier about staff retention. It's very much about the fact that we're all working a lot longer, 14 hours a day, people can be working. It's tough. And we need to create spaces that reinforce the message. This is why you're here. That's where the brand message comes in. And that's where a lot of what people are selling here in terms of the technology feeds in, because part of what we do is create these amazing spaces to a budget to make sure that people understand the brand message, that they want to be there, that they're happy, and that way you end up with a business that's profitable.
So give me some examples, if you can, of how workplaces have been transformed or at least been given a more positive aspect as far as their employees are concerned, using design. You talk about brand messages, for example. Any examples that you're able to share?
Brand messages. So I suppose a bit like the Smart 44 case study I showed. There is brand scattered around in all different manners in the white collar factory, to where you come into the space, there's a red line through the floor because their brand colour is red. So we set that in, made of plexiglass. It's very, very subtle, and it leads you up to the reception desk, which then catches your eye to big Smart 44. So it's about connecting the messages into the syntaxes of the brain so that people get it, but it's not shoved down their throats. So,
really, really interesting stuff. Govinda, thank you very much indeed.
And thank you.
Cheers.
Ever fancied meeting the best rapper in Europe and the third in the world. Well, my friends, this is the day for you. But I'm not talking about music, isn't that right, Jill, from William Smith? What am I talking about?
Well, we're talking about wrapping vehicles and self-adhesive products onto buses, trains, all vehicles, cars, trains, automobiles, all of it. Yep, so self-adhesive products, it's actually been the technology that's been out for quite a long time now. And the industry is constantly improving. The manufacturers are constantly trying to make the next best product. They actually get together, they ask the specialists like Mike here what's missing, what do they want in a product. The specialists, the experts come together and say, right, well, I want it to be less sticky, I want it to have less static, or we want these wowie colours, and that's where they go away and they manufacture the solution.
Now talk to me a little bit about how you know that he's the best in Europe and the third in the world. Is there some kind of competition?
Yes, there is. There's competitions that are held all over the world, and FESPA generally is where a lot of the guys go to. I think the one coming up in a few weeks' time at Hamburg, but I might be wrong there. And yeah, they go along. Any standards can go and start, and they try and get through the heats. When you're good, like Mike is, then you get right the way through. And it's pretty exceptional. It's pretty phenomenal. The guys, they're under a lot of pressure. They have to do it perfectly. They can't damage anything. They can't damage the material. They have to get it right, and hence, we get guys like Mike on board with us to work with William Smiths.
But you've got him as part of your academy as well. Now, William Smith's been around 32 years, did you say? No. You've been there for 1832. My goodness, I got the numbers wrong. 1832, a little bit longer than 32 years then.
But I've been there 32 years.
You've been there 32 years. See, I knew that number came in somewhere. You've been there for a really long time. Now, the academy is something that is new, a part of William Smith. Tell us about that.
Yeah, really exciting. Well, really speaking, the whole industry always looks to William Smiths when they're wanting that expert advice, when they're wanting to know that little bit different. Will this product go here? What's the best product for that? And I started straight from school, making signs on the shop floor, and you don't even realise you're learning when it's a day-to-day job, but you're gathering all of this information. And then a few years into the career at William Smiths, I got an account and I went out on the road and account manager, and that was when I was helping customers, and I didn't realise. Guys were saying, Jill, how do I do this, how do I do that? And you end up training without even realising it. The vehicle wrapping was starting, the training was wrapping. Then we introduced the architectural products last year and that brand. And we needed, instead of people flying in there and getting it wrong, we wanted to teach them the right way right from the outset. So the academy was born, and it's another strength to William Smiths.
Now, you've been a part of William Smith for a very long time, but also you've been a part of Sign and Digital for a really long time as well. Now, what is it about this show, do you think, that made it last so long, but also bring people back year after year?
Well, it's things like our stand today. People are coming to try and find that little bit of something that's going to improve their business. A few years ago, we sell the Rolls Roller, which is a bit of kit that you'll see on one of the other stands. And a few years ago, I had a gentleman who came on the stand and he told his lads, two young lads, go around the stands and I want you to find me something that's going to save me money, whether it's a 50p widget or a 50 grand bit of kit. That's what people come to this show for. They want to find that little bit of thing that's going to make them money and change the direction of their business and their industry. And hopefully, I've already had a few people tell me this morning that, wow, this is exciting, this is what we've come to look at. So yeah, that's why people keep coming back.
Now, Jill, I want to just move around a little bit so we can have a little. Alex, come down here and have a look at what Mike's doing. So he's using. Tell us a little bit about the skill set that he's using here and exactly what's happening.
Well, a lot of these wrapping vinyls now, they all come with very intelligent adhesives. They're bubble-free adhesives, so that you can, if you do get a bubble in there, you can get rid of it quickly. You can warm and influence and just manoeuvre these vinyls around the panels to get them perfect. And Mike's skill, a lot of people think that this is something you can teach yourself on YouTube. We get a lot of guys coming on the course saying they'd bought some product, they'd taught themselves on YouTube, and they very quickly realised it's not the way. And then they come and they get the correct learning, the correct tuition to learn how to do it properly. And also a lot of hints and tips, because you can appreciate that when you get in like Mike and You know, it's not a few hundred vehicles Mike's wrapped, it's a few thousand. And he's learnt an awful lot of skills and hints and tips about how to make money doing this and still enjoy it and be really... I think Mike would agree that the one thing that you will never tire of is seeing your customer's face when they walk in and they see their vehicle wrapped. Whether it's a transit van for a butcher or whether it's somebody's high-end Ferrari. When it's wrapped, it's unique, then you'll never tire of that look that they give when they see that face. So you want to get it good and you want to get it perfect. And, you know, when you're of Mike's skill and when you get the correct tuition, then you're in that position to go away and master it.
Now, Mike's going to absolutely hate this because he said, please, please don't talk to me. But I'm just going to ask you one quick question. Now, what did it feel like when you held that championship up? You know, best in Europe, pretty big one there.
It was a big privilege. However, the third in the world was rather disappointing for me because I was aiming for the first one. I'm back this year for the first one.
Watch this space. Mike's back. He's going to be first in the world. What can you do differently to be able to notch yourself up a couple of steps?
Keep the quality, keep the quality. We all, the top guys, we all at the same level, and it's just tiny differences. That's just keep the quality. Yeah.
So now, tell me, what's the best thing you've ever wrapped?
It's very hard to say. Probably some race cars. The race cars, they like very technical, yeah, and maybe not the best looking one, the race one, but they really I like the cars, and really technical cars. They might think.
What, you mean this Zebra? This Zebra isn't the best one. No, I'm joking. So what do you think about Sign & Digital?
I like it, yeah. We need more shows like that in UK, definitely. I'm attending all the Europe exhibitions, the FESPA. I'm hoping to go to the SEMA this year as well. We need more like that in UK, and definitely we need some competitions in UK, yeah, because there's no wrapping competition in UK.
Brilliant. Well, thanks, Mike. I'll let you crack on because I know you've got a lot to do. I was actually quite surprised, Jill. I honestly stopped him because I thought, gosh, this is gonna go so quickly. He's got his gun out. He's going to go raring for it. But actually, with that skill set, it does take time. What is it, about an hour to wrap something like this?
Well, different guys. I mean, it would take me 2 hours to wrap something like that. Mikey might get that mastered and perfectly finished within 45 minutes. But yeah, there's time, speed and quality do not go together. And this is one of the things we try and get across to guys. Never promise something unless you can deliver it at top-notch quality, take the time it needs. And the more you do something, the better you get at it. It's like anything. Practice makes perfect, but also take time. Just know what you're doing. Don't be afraid to put it in the bin and redo it, because the customer's paying a lot of money for it in the long run, so it's got to be right.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for being a superstar, Jill. Get back to work. Come and see William Smith and Mike doing his wrapping action here. They're going to be doing demos for the whole of the show.
I am here with the best Bond in the business, and his name isn't James, it's Paul. Paul, who is sales director here at Indersol. So tell me what you do.
We supply technical tapes and adhesives to the sign guys.
Technical tapes and adhesives. I love that name, technical tapes. You've got some of your technical tapes behind us here. Just talk us through the kind of stuff that your customers do with your products.
Very simply, it can be anything from structural bonding, which is designed to replace nuts, rivets, screws, even go through powder coat ovens. So you can bond two parts together and go through to powder coat. Then through to generic double-sided tapes where they want lightweight bonding, but it needs to be fast, quick, and stick to all sorts of surfaces.
Fantastic. But it's much more than just adhesives that you do. Tell me about this, because that's really interesting.
Here, as you see, there's a steel girder over there, you'd think.
Right, hang on, let's take a look. You've mentioned it now, I've got to do something with it. This here is a steel girder. This here, it's not a steel girder, but it looks pretty impressively like the real thing. What actually is this?
It's an expanded polyurethane, so it's designed to go outside, can be painted, filled. As you can see, made to look like steel. It can be made to look like stone, plastics, even glass. It all depends on what sort of finish the customer wants to get with it. We supply this into the sign guys, and it really just depends on how creative they want to be with the material.
So you've got a couple of creative signs here, including your POW just there. Is this a new product? Because, like I say, it doesn't...
For the last few years, but it's came out more and more, and it's been tweaked so that it's friendly and easier to work with. The sign guys like it because they can router it out and end up with a strong but very lightweight sign that, as I say, can be made to look like all sorts.
Now, this isn't your first time at Sign and Digital UK. Tell me how it's been here this year for you.
Yeah, we're very impressed. On first day, there's been a good footfall. We've had a lot of inquiries. We're really pleased with it.
Fantastic. And what are you hoping for the rest of the show? What's your ideal conversation here, Paul?
More today and more guys using tapes and adhesives, and obviously sign block.
More folks using tapes and adhesives. That sounds good to me. Listen, Paul from Indersol, thank you very much indeed. Have a great rest of the show.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye now.
So as I said, it's day 2 here at Sign and Digital UK 2018, and as you can see behind me, there are so many people that have come and queued up just as the doors open to get here and really make the most out of their day. Now, I find it really important to be able to speak to the top, to give a bit of encouragement as the show is going into its second day, and we're speaking now to Amanda Barnes from Faversham House. So it's lovely to see you here, Amanda. Tell us all about what people are going to expect when they come to the show.
Well, I think the big change this year is the huge level of investment we put into the show. So we have a main stage for the first time, and we've had all sorts of exciting people come and talk to the industry. So it's everything from practical, how do I actually do this, what difference is it going to make to my business, to yesterday's really inspirational talk from Mary Portas, which was just amazing. She was so good, and she really explained how you could apply some of the techniques, some of the really interesting things which are being done around the show. So I think there's a particular emphasis now on the applications, what you can do with all this fantastic kit. So we're looking at our new demo areas for interior design, for textile printing, for vehicle wrapping. Yeah, it's just endless. There's so much going on this time.
And it's so nice as well. I mean, I absolutely loved the talk yesterday from Mary Portas. I mean, there were so many people there stood watching and actually really massively engaged in that, because of course we are losing the high street if we're not careful, and the people here at Sign and Digital are really the creativity behind that, and that's what she was trying to highlight, wasn't it? But actually, what I really like about this year's show as well is the fact that you've gone slightly onto a different tack with 60 brand new exhibitors that are here with maybe some artisans, some new, some old. It's really exciting.
Yeah, I think it appeals to everybody, from the small sign maker who has his own business and is trying to make a living on the high street, to the big concerns, to someone like the in-house print department of Marks and Spencer's or a John Lewis. So everyone's coming for ideas and also to buy. A lot of people are here specifically with one thing they wanted to get, so they're coming around and looking for those things. It's very exciting. It's a very dynamic show.
Well, thank you very much, Amanda. I'll let you get on because I know you're super busy wanting to get round and see everybody today, but thank you ever so much. Get yourself here. If you don't know what to do today or tomorrow, we've got 2 more full days at Sign and Digital UK. It is where you need to be in this industry.
Digital signage is a huge part of Sign and Digital UK. I'm here with Richard from IMG to talk a little bit about the traditional and the future when we start moving towards interactive digital signage and displays as well. Richard, thank you very much. Just give us the top-down story about IMG and the different brands that you've brought here to the show this year.
Sure. IMG Interactive Media Group gives it the sort of the general sense of where we are on a digital level, but we've brought 2 of the organisations here this week. Predominantly looking at 2 forms of digital signage, one being your more traditional static version, represented by half of the stand here in terms of the fact of simple, plain advertising and promotion through to educational pieces, followed by what would be described as the next level, next generation, like the idea to touch. So from that point of view, interactive digital signage and the capability to interact and direct your own journey through an interactive digital signage application.
And you were talking a moment ago about how, in a way, that as humans, as children in particular, are consuming media, are interacting with it differently with the advent of touch technologies, you know, tablet computing and so on, that naturally the signage industry needs to move where their users and consumers are at as well.
Well, absolutely, because there's the natural tendency to want to touch, so there actually is developing an expectation. So you'll see a digital display, and generally we've seen much of the research that they will want to go in touch, and now what they have increasingly got the capability to do is touch, but then learn for themselves. So the signage itself becomes more of an educational piece.
And so that's the ArcStream side of your business, which is the interactive. You are providing those interactive capabilities?
Yes, in terms of the fact of ArcStream, next level technological advancement, interactive, that's the piece. And the name's in the title with regards to paper to pixel. You're just taking that traditional paper format and digitising it. And they both live together, because from that point of view, you're turning static digital signage pieces with the P2P model, but you're giving people the access to then take it to the next level, which is where ArcStream comes into play.
You've actually got some examples over here on one of your displays, and we'll have a look at one of your interactive displays as well, but just on the screen behind you, that's handily just disappeared as soon as we walk over here. Isn't that the way with live TV? A number of your clients and the kind of, I would say installations, but maybe that's not the right term, but the kind of ways that you'll be able to create interactive displays. That one there looks like it's is that a projection display?
An interactive floor, yes, that was an interactive floor. Interaction has gone away from just being a standard table format or device. It's now in the scenario that we make any surface interactive. Walls, ceilings, the one obviously you can see right now relates to what we've got down here in front of us in terms of BT taking on a next level presentation suite, because from the point of view, static was no longer working in a traditional presentation use. They've now turned it into an interactive application.
And that table that we saw on display there, you've got it here, so...
I've got it here as an example, yes. So in the normal sense of finger touch and presentation, you then become layered and menu based. So you start something, you're then given the option to then go and investigate and move around the actual application itself. So there's content inbuilt into here, both in terms of images, PDFs, videos, which then obviously BT have the capability to then go and update and improve across the course of time. So you're in essence building them an interactive template for them to then grow and develop out into obviously different areas of the actual business that they're actually in. There's one stage further to this application which relates back to that particular image, is in the fact that then you can share the content on this screen with other screens. Sure. So you're making a fully utilisable interactive experience, because you're both using a touch screen and standard screens. So it's an all-encompassing solution.
And I know from experience, when you're giving presentations to small groups, actually if you're able to make it interactive and just lay it down flat rather than having it PowerPoint on a projector or on a screen behind you, there's a sense of immersion that that your audience get with the content that makes it much more visceral. You get a lot more engagement with the content when it's laid down in a different way like this.
100%, because on the presentation with the PowerPoint, you're being dictated to the content. It's whether you stay in line and stay in tune with it. So you'll drift in and you'll drift out. In this particular form, what you investigate and what you look at, you take on board straight away, because you chose to select it and you chose to take it on board. The final bit that would add further credence to what you said is we have the capability to track every single interaction. So whoever developed the app can actually then get data back that says, well, for those 3 sections, they were the most popular. Those 2, not many people visited, so therefore you can then adjust the content another level to give them the capability to investigate further and get the full maximum benefit of it.
And I think that's a really important point, because it's all very well and clever demonstrating technology like this, then handing it over to a client. But if they can't innovate, if they can't iterate, if they can't create their own applications on that technology, then it becomes static and loses that kind of iteration, always improving point that these platforms are, supposed to be able to provide to them.
Yes, and to lead on from that particular point, we've kind of defined it that there's a choice to be made when it comes to developing this. You either do it for entertainment purposes or educational. And the entertainment's been around for quite a number of years. Interactive floors, for example, that's highly entertaining with regards to the content that's been produced. But we're now in the fact that interactivity is now properly being given the opportunity to educate people on, certainly in terms of the fact of obviously staff, because this is an internal activation. But one stage further than that is obviously clients on products and brands. So you can take the logo, you take it down to this level and you break it down, and we've had it. The feedback is tremendous. It's having great impact on brands such as these guys and others.
Richard, it's great to have you here at Sign & Digital UK. Tell me, what have you been making of the show here this year?
Very impressed. Very impressed by the questions and the understanding of what in essence would be a more traditional print base. We found this show as an opportunity to kind of educate and kind of showcase what the next level is and where the technology is going, and the feedback has been excellent. I was a bit taken back by the level of knowledge of quite a few people that have come to the stand.
That's very kind of you to say so. Richard, thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Cheers.
And Thales don't just have an amazingly impressive stand here at the show. They've also got 4 different Decor Live demonstrations, and Tom is heading those demonstrations up now. Tom, before you give us a little bit of a demo here, tell us about the demonstration that you're doing today.
Okay, well, we're going to do wall coverings and magnetics demonstration, and then we're doing a vinyls demonstration as well. I'll show you briefly magnetics, okay?
Can I just ask you one question before you go and do it? So why is it important for people to come here to the stand and have these demos? Is it something that they kind of feel a little bit like they're stuck on? You feel like you can educate them?
Yeah, certainly. And then they can ask any questions, you know, any advice that I can give them, more than right. We do a workshop at the Academy, so what I'm doing here in about 20 minutes, I actually sort of take about 6 hours to do during a course.
Wow, so it is very, very condensed. I'm going to let you crack on and get that magnetic up there. So Tom's going to climb. He's basically rolling the magnetic up. It's important to be able to roll it and keep it nice and easy there, so that you're not actually folding it and damaging the magnetic, but it comes off really easily. You put the board on and it's got a magnetic backer, right?
Yeah. So it's a self-adhesive magnetic base, which is fitted first, and then once that's up, we just use a ferrous backed material here. Okay.
So what Tom does is he actually puts it up there, so he starts right at the top, because of course the magnetics are quite heavy, so he starts up at the top and he lays it across so that it is parallel, lines it all up. So as you can see, he starts slightly above the line and then drags it down nice and slowly, so that it is completely and utterly parallel with the start of the magnetic board, as you can see there. It's quite fascinating, isn't it? Because you can rub any of the bubbles and stuff out as you go down, is that right?
Yep. Although if you get it right the first time, there shouldn't be any bubbles.
And you are getting it right the first time, and it's going down like a dream. Wow.
Quick it is to replace a backdrop, and you can change that for, you know, seasonal changes or for advertising sales, etc., etc.
And how long do these last?
They're semi-permanent, really. The magnetic's not going to go anywhere. So yeah, it's just a nice, easy way of changing your graphics and actually keeping them so you can change them again and reuse them, you know, the following season.
Get yourself here to the Academy. He's got wallpaper, he's got vinyl and magnetics. Come and see Tom.
I'm here with Phil from Epson. You've got a really colourful stand here this year, Phil. Just give us a little tour of it, if you will.
Yeah, good morning. We've got a lot of designs here from Richard Quinn. He's the designer. You might have seen him in Vogue and in the FT getting his award from the Queen for fashion design. So he's done a lot of the creatives for, all the creatives for us, really, in terms of that. You can see the shirts that we're all wearing. We've got the wallpaper here that we've printed on the Epsom Shore colours. And he's also wrapped the motorcycle helmet as well. So that's a high quality cast vinyl printed on an Epsom Shore colour and then wrapped on the motorcycle helmet. So
it's been a long time since I've worn a flowery shirt, but all of your staff this year seem to be wearing something flowery. You're inspiring flowery passions myself. I tell you what, just turn that around there, and some of your female colleagues. In fact, I'll turn that camera around. Let's have a look at. Is it Lauren here? That is beautiful. So this is all Richard Quinn's work that he's...
Quinn's work, yeah, and he's done a fantastic job for us. We've been partnering. We spotted him very early on in his development. He was looking for a sponsor. We like to get involved with young creatives in the design world, and Richard, we could see that he had great potential. So what we're printing here on the dye sublimation Surecolor F9300 is one of his designs for wallpaper. You can see the wallpaper on the back of the stand. So those ones have actually been printed on the EcoSolvent 8600, but this is the for the textile print. So on the other wall you can see a dye sublimation print using again one of his designs, but using a dye sublimation type technology.
I'm in the market for a new car at the moment, Phil. Just talk to me about what you've got wrapping this car door here.
Okay, so it's pretty funky, isn't it? This is printed on the Surecolor 8600 again, using Richard Quinn's design, and then we've got someone to wrap it for us. Clearly, you could do the whole vehicle if you wanted to, if you had the skills to do it, but just to give an idea, really what we're trying to do is inspire people to think a little bit outside of the norm and be as creative as possible. That's really what's going to be driving this industry forward. Everybody wants to change their designs, change their marketing messaging as regularly as they can to compete with electronic and the web. So the more you can keep that fresh and exciting, the more likely you are to promote your products and get some sales in.
Any other big hero products that you're talking about this year, Phil?
Well, the new one for us is our Surecolor F2100, which is our new direct-to-garment T-shirt printer. So
let's have a wander over here and have a quick look at it. Here we go.
So this is our second movement into T-shirt printing. We started off about 4 years ago with the F2000. So this is improved productivity, improved print quality, less maintenance and lower running costs. So we're hitting all the areas that our customers asked us to improve on, feedback we were getting on a global basis, and this is the result of all the work the guys in Japan did to take those messages on board and produce something that was taking it forward again. So first showing in the UK at a big trade show like this. So yeah, come and have a look and see what you think.
We're delighted that you brought it with you to Sign & Digital UK. Thank you very much indeed for your time here, Phil. Really bright and colourful stand here at Epson. Thanks a lot again, Phil.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.
So 31 years of Sign & Digital UK, and it is the 20th anniversary of Sabre Digital. And I've just popped over to see Dean. Now, Dean, you've not just got one, not two, but three showpieces here on the stand. Now, tell us a little bit about it.
Right, firstly, what we have here, we have the Mimaki JFX 200, which is a flatbed UV printer, capable of printing anything from a pen to an 8x4 sheet up to 50mm thick. So it pretty much is one machine in all. So any flat type or cylindrical substrate, this is the job for it.
Wow, that's absolutely incredible. From a pen, so something so finite.
Yes, anything from a pen. You can pop a pen in the corner, print one pen, one keyring, one can opener, anything, up to an 8x4 sheet, which obviously for the building trade, the large format sign industry is a fantastic piece of kit because it opens all new avenues for you.
Now listen, if you've got this piece of kit, you go from a pen to such a massive piece. Why do you need the other two then?
You need the other two. One's a roll-to-roll printer, and obviously what we're saying with the pen from a pen up to an 8x4 sheet, it's predominantly for the large format sheets. However, it will take anything as small as a pen, a ruler, anything else. It's just basically saying how diverse the machine is.
Right, come on, take me round and show me these other two around here then. So we're going to move around the Sabre Digital stand and we can see this beautiful artwork coming out here. So tell us about this one.
This is the new UCJV 300 160 roll-to-roll UV printer. This one has various applications, but the main thing is it's a roll-to-roll UV and it's cost-effective. So
which we all need in business, don't we?
Absolutely, yeah. To take your business to the next level, if people are printing any signage, there's no need for the inks to gas off, because the inks are instantly dry, so it's straight away ready for print. Once it's printed, it's ready for application.
And it looks like you've got a nice little show deal on there as well for the printer.
We have a show deal on for the printer as well. Yes, all the machines have a show deal on. Like the JFX has free installation, free site survey, free installation. This one we're giving a free ink pack with it. We also have we've got the Roland VG, which we have free ink pack as well on that one. And then we have the 3.2, which we've taken off a massive 10,000. So every show we give a new deal.
Wow, they are absolutely massive deals. Free installation, 10,000 off one of the printers as well. Get yourself down here, see Dean and the Sabo Digital team. Over to you, David.
Just by the front door here, I'm with John from Perfect Colours. John, what are you showing off at the show this year?
Okay, so we're showing a variety of products, mainly from Epson and Hewlett-Packard, mainly concentrating on outdoor printing, although we've got some indoor solutions as well. We're concentrating on workflow this year very much, so we're driving that with the Print Factory software. We're looking at a print and cut solution, plus other print solutions. Plus we've also got something special called the Mod Pod, which we'll show you later on in the interview.
Well, I tell you what, let's come and have a look around. First of all, print and cut. You've got a device over here that's going to do that for us. Tell us more.
Okay, so
tell us more about this.
New for us for the show this year. The advantage over, so we've got a printer and a cutter. So the advantage over a lot of print and cut solutions is they tend to do printing and cutting in the same box. The advantage here, we've got two units, so we can be printing and cutting at the same time. So we've got a much more productive workflow. Also got the advantages of latex technology, so we can print on a huge number of substrates that you just can't print so much on solvent machines.
Fantastic. So decent looking unit as well, and like you say, the advantage here is a workflow one. It's just going to let you get through your jobs a lot faster.
Absolutely. The two machines work together with software that's bespoke to HP, and that again gives you great workflow advantages. Obviously we can add to those with other software solutions as well.
Sure. Good stuff. Right then, let's take a look at something else. What else have you got for us?
Okay, so let's have a look at the Epson 8600.
Okay. There we go. So what's special about this one?
Okay, so the great advantage of this machine, obviously, you know, we get great production quality, we get great speed. We can print white with this. Okay, that's obviously a little trick that the latex can't do. We can also change that for metallic ink as well. Really? So, you know, we've got some tricks up our sleeve. So if we're printing on film, we can do some really nice effects with white, and obviously some other effects with metallic. So that's quite exciting for us.
Nice, versatile machine here. What else have you got?
Okay, so if we just wander around the corner here.
There we go.
Okay, so this is a new unit for us at the show. This is the Epson 10000. It's basically an aqueous printer, but it has massive speed advantages, fantastic quality, really nice workhorse. We also do an ink package with the machine where people just pay monthly rather than consistently paying bills for their inks. So again, very economic to run.
Fantastic. Right, where next?
Okay, so let's have a look at the page wide, shall we?
Oh, this is the HP unit here in the corner, isn't it? Right.
Okay, so this was primarily aimed at the technical market, but we've had quite a success with it in the graphics arena. The reason being that the page-wide technology will print up to 30 A1s a minute. This particular one will do 18. And if people are doing, I won't say low-quality posters, but view from distance posters, this is the tool for the job, because this can print up to 800-900 A1s an hour. So we have customers that need to print several thousand prints over a week. This can wipe out the whole job in several hours.
I was going to say, that's a pretty fast turnaround on this. How many A1s an hour did you say?
Probably about 900. Wow. Okay, and that includes cleaning routines and everything else. So it's a very, very productive machine.
You're not just about the hardware here, though, are you? You're also about the software as well.
So we need ways of bringing these things together to be very, very productive on workflow. And we're featuring Print Factory this year. Okay, so Print Factory is a total workflow solution. It has tools so that you can manipulate the image before it's printed. It's got very, very powerful RIP inbuilt, so you've got powerful processing. We also have products called Ink Saver. We can save 20% on ink. We can save similar amounts on media. The reason for the media saving is we get far more prints first out.
Yep, why not? It doesn't matter.
From Birmingham, the talk show that gets the sign industry talking. Sign and Digital Explains. Please welcome your host, Colin "The Gill" Gilman.
Good morning and welcome to Sign and Digital Explains. This morning we will be discussing retail and surface graphics for hospitality sector and retail. My first guest this morning is a gentleman who describes himself as a Belgian beer lover, so he's certainly all right where I'm concerned. He is the product and referencing manager for Cover Style, and I'd like to welcome to the stage my first guest, Mr. Jeremy Truscalo. Come on up, Jeremy.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
There you go. Jeremy, good to see you. Thanks for coming up.
Good to see you.
So you've been here at the show with your products Cover Style, is that
That's
right?
it,
And
yeah.
you're supporting your distributor here, is that correct?
Exactly. We got a network of distributors through Europe, also worldwide. And for this trade show, I'm supporting some our.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the company, if you will, and really, you know, where the products fit into that.
Mm-hmm. So, well, basically, SolarScreen International is a company based in Luxembourg.
Luxembourg.
Yeah, it was created 35 years ago. It was initially a family business, but then we grew up by innovating and we became window film suppliers, most important in Europe, actually.
Really?
Yeah, we are.
So, I've been staying in a hotel just close to the show, and I'm amazed to see the amount of wall decor that is in there, and a lot of it looks suspiciously like what I've seen on your stand.
Yeah, actually, it's a big thing. Our Cover Style products is a range of the products we sell it, and it's the contract, the hotel and restaurants sector field is very important. It's very huge, and it's growing very importantly. Yeah.
So tell me, how did you actually come to get involved with the company, and what's your background?
My personal background, actually I was working for 7 years in a asbestos removal supply company, which was nothing linked with this industry, but it was an interesting field, and then they were looking for a multilingual sales guy, skilled, so I applied, and
there we are. Well, Joe came and visited your stand earlier on in the week, and we got a clip of that with Joe talking to you about it. So let's watch that.
Yeah, sure.
You heard me talking to Rudy, the event director, before about interior decor. It's been a massive thing now in the industry. Well, I've come and grabbed Jeremy. Now, Jeremy, tell me about your interior decor here, and of course, I saw the sparkles. I couldn't resist coming over. Anything. I'm like a magpie. It's absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, all these Cover Style films are architectural solution, actually, either for refitting shops and retails, either hotels and private houses. It could be sky is the limit, as I love to say, you know, because actually the good thing with this effect is self-adhesive, 10 years warranty, fire retardant, and also you can shrink it, you can wrap it. By hitting it, you can really wrap some corners and have very amazing effects.
Wow, it's incredibly versatile, isn't it? And can you personalize that as well?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, whatever you want. Furnitures, walls, chairs, what you want.
That's amazing, and I've seen down here as well, anything that I can break I like to stand on, so let's have a little look at it. So it says, feel the strength of our 300-metre Micron safety film. Can I really stand on this?
Yeah, please.
Oh my goodness.
Jump.
Jump?
Please.
Okay.
You see?
I mean, I like to say that I'm 9 stone, but I'm not. I'm over 11 stone, and that is quite a lot on some safety film, and it really is feels quite flimsy, but actually what a strength. That's amazing. Wow. And that's what you need in any kind of business, don't you? You need that kind of dependability.
For banking, for sad reason of terrorism and to protect schools and public places, it's very, very requested in these sad days, let's say.
Absolutely, in these sad days. Well, thank you very, very much, Jeremy, and get over here and check out the interior decor.
Thank you, Joe. What about that? That was quite fascinating. The petite Joe there, I might add. So it's you can personalise it. So this material you can print onto as well?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, actually, one of our best sales is the classic white pitch effect, you know?
Yeah.
And you can print on it with UV, obviously, UV technology, but also eco-solvent and latex.
Eco-solvent, latex, and
Yeah.
UV
Yeah.
for your range.
Yeah,
Excellent.
you can also cut it with plotters, and except the glitter effects are a bit particular. You have to use a special plotter to cut it because it's very abrasive. It's
okay. Well, we've got another clip that I'd like you to just take us through, actually, which is sort of the products, you know, in the transformations before and afters. So. Where are these being used, Jeremy?
Well, basically, Carrefour is the number 2 in the it's like supermarket chain. It's the number 2 in the worldwide.
Yeah.
And they're using a lot of this adhesive solution to refurbish and renew spaces. Brioche Dorée is another example in France. It's a very famous bakery chain, you know.
Yeah.
And we refit them a lot of their point of sales because it's a no-time solution. It's clean.
Yeah.
No dust, no odor. Installer can do the job, can refit the place without closing the activity.
And it's in areas such as hospitality as well as in the retail sector, isn't it? So it's for refitting. Refurbishment is another thing. So let's take a look at another clip now in that sector, if we may. And here's actually some guys applying it, isn't it?
Yeah, this is basically an hotel in Fuerteventura in Spain. And
so
this is
the before.
This is the before. Yeah. You see it totally changed, and
it's a fabulous effect, isn't it? I love all the wood grain.
The big advantage is also certificated and fire retardant and everything.
Yeah. Let's take a look at what Club Med have been doing with it, if we will.
I was personally engaged.
Were you?
Long time, yes.
Well, you were fitting it.
Yeah.
Tell us about this a little bit. So this is actually at Club Med, is it?
Yeah, it is in South Portugal.
Yeah.
We actually had 150. I was there as a consultant, you know.
Yeah,
but actually, it was about 150 rooms.
Yeah.
All the closet, main door, bathroom door, toilet door, mini bar.
I can't tell you, Jeremy, how many hotels I've stayed in that have had scruffy, you know, rooms like that, and all of a sudden you could just clean it up with literally, you know, what is effectively a sticky back material, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And it was, in this particular case, it was in very bad condition, so it changed everything. Also the lift, they asked us to refit the lift. It's a very good solution to
it's a
renovate.
fantastic thing. I really like the way it's actually been, you know, used for refurbishment and, you know, brightening up any space.
Yeah,
you know, it's a cost-effective solution, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The idea, I mean, they choose our solution because it was, it cost basically 1/3 against a classical renovation, because every furniture was made on measure. It was old-fashioned Portuguese furniture, but they could close only 2.5 months. So it was no time refurbishment for.
So I mean, it really is cost effective if you're a restaurant or a shop, and you know you've got, it gets careworn, doesn't it? I mean, this is simply a great economical, fast way of freshening up the whole thing.
It's
an incredible product.
Yeah.
Joe mentioned in the clip earlier about spangles. Now, what's that all about? She saw the bright, spangly, shiny things.
Yeah.
You know, she's like my wife. She's attracted to shiny stuff.
Yeah, women love it. But actually, it's a product we sell a lot for Christmas events or for special events. You know, it's mostly. You mean the glitter, all the glitter sparkling solution? Yeah. Actually, it's really trendy. We got many examples. Some Jimmy Choo, for example, is use it just for one night. They wrap some British taxis with a glitter solution. It's not car wrapping solution, but
for
just
bling.
Yeah, that's it.
I understand it. What I wanted to show as well is we have a clip of actually how easy it is in the application side of it, and I wanted to show that for any potential fitters that are looking at it, because it is such a great thing. So this is all you need, isn't it? The toolkit's pretty standard sign making equipment. Wall preparation there is just cleaning it with the appropriate solutions.
Grip primer to.
That's primer, is it?
Yeah. And actually, it's all about also multi-sense. I mean, it's not only nice from seeing, it's also nice from touching. And
it's very, very tactile, isn't it? I noticed because there's
it's
a
well
grain
structured
pattern.
and it's scratch resistant, and it's also, you know, nowadays it's retailers or hotels or restaurants have to attract people because many sales are made online or through giant malls and something. So they have to add an extra value to a table, to a wall, to a cashier. I don't know. So because the effect is really different. When I want just an example that if you go to a restaurant, even if the food is not that great, but you have a concrete table, a leather table, you will remember it. It's an additional value, you know. And
what about for the corporate sector as well? I mean, a lot of corporate interior decor. And one of the things that was interesting yesterday was during one of the panel debates that I watched was very much a consensus of opinion that sign makers and printers today need to start getting involved in this kind of architectural interior design, you know. So where do you think the trends are coming from?
The trends actually in US and I mean, you mean about this? On US, this kind of solution is way more used than Europe. You know, Europe you use wallpaper, classic traditional wallpaper, painting, especially in the southern country of Italy, Portugal, Spain, and they're not really used about this kind of solution. But
I read an article yesterday, actually, from somebody in America that is talking about the kind of trends in this market. And what they were saying is that in the States, it's very much compartmentalized and regionalized, so that in North of America, it's one type of style that they're interested in. Go to the South, it's completely different. Same as with the East and West. Why do you think it's been slow to catch on in Europe?
Yeah, well, because it's the future. It's it's such a easy to install technology, and I mean, it's all about multi-sensorality, as I said before. You know, the touching, and it's also, I mean, paper is still a good solution, and especially wallpaper makers are doing a great job right now because they're offering a really nice range of products. But our solution, Cover Style, is self-adhesive, is fire retardant, is certificated, is you know, it's easy, and it's.
I wanted to ask you about the adhesion actually. Is that easy to remove?
Yeah, well.
Does it damage the wall afterwards? What's the story?
We offer for an indoor installation, because it's interior design film, we offer 10 years warranty, which is huge.
Yeah.
So for we need a very strong glue. It's a solvent-based glue. So to remove it, you have first to hit with a heat gun, you know, or a car wrapper, a heat gun, and to activate the glue actually, and make it reactivate. And
okay, so that makes it pliable, and with a heat gun you can actually easily remove it.
If you try to remove it
without,
could take the bricks away from the wall.
Okay, so that is the one tip that you need to remember when removing. Okay, post heating. Okay, well, I'd like to bring up my second guest now. He's a printer. He's a man who describes himself as he described to me, I should say, as the most profitable printing company when he's actually sat in a pub garden with his laptop and the phone. And I'd like to introduce you to Alan Wrigglesford, the Managing Director of Kingswood Ioptus and Kingswood Display. Good morning.
Well, I'm mate.
Have a seat there, oh, they're soft, these, aren't they?
Well, obviously we're much better off up here, but down the hard seats down there.
That's what I'm figuring.
So.
Alan, tell us about your printing company that you look after.
We start with Kingswood Optus.
Yeah.
It's a digital print company based in Clifton Street, just behind the back of Liverpool's train station.
In London, yeah?
In London. It's a 24/7 operation, even Christmas Day.
Really?
Yeah, we have
You're a harsh taskmaster.
Yeah, no, and we have staff that wish to work it.
Oh, really?
Obviously, religion's getting involved with Christmas. Not obviously a topic of debate today, but the Jewish lawyers do like something printed on Christmas Day, and gives us a great privilege to be able to offer and extend that service. So,
what have you got there?
We've got 20 toner-based printers, Ricohs, Canons, Konica Minoltas. We've got a small range of large format as well, and all the complementary finishing equipment for that. We are also nicknamed the Duplo, which is a print finishing company showroom,
where
really? we
yeah.
appear to have more than what they have in their own showroom. So high capacity, very quick turnaround, mainly for its location, and i.e. that's our core business.
Right.
We then ventured out into large format. We've got
When did you do that?
That happened before I joined the company. That was in 2016.
Right.
And made a huge investment with EFI, Vutex, and obviously now working out of Swanley. So, give you an idea of staff numbers, I have 50 odd staff in London and 15 with a couple of freelancers in Swanley. And Swanley now is our large format, let's say 24/5, and we've got to a stage now where the bottlenecks are now appearing mainly with the finishing part of it as opposed to the printing. So we've got very fast printers, but as I'm sure most of the audience will know, that it's then finishing it is the bottleneck. And it's great to meet obviously Jeremy today, because seeing the wide range and the unbelievable products there. I've got one retail account that I believe will welcome Jeremy coming in and presenting, and I would look forward to that. And that's a customer that I've had for a very long time, and something I'm sure I wouldn't necessarily say that I need to print on it, but that option's there if I need to, and it is UV, as what you said, on there. So,
but you're adding value to your customers by introducing them to these things.
Also, as the topic of conversation is about surface graphics, as an example, most of our stuff is retail-led, point of sale. And at the moment, the days, sort of 10 years ago, it would be like a show card, or they'd say, oh, they've got a pillar in this store, oh, can you wrap that with a PVC? And then you have issues very similar to, obviously, what we referred to here is you then need to take it off and not damage it. Yeah. So you're then using, specialist glues that, will allow it to be removed. But then the client then may want it up for 2 years, and it starts falling off because it's using a low-tack glue.
Yeah.
So it's very much a catch-22 position. But likewise, with the surface graphics side of it, is now we're being asked to reskim walls with point of sale, mainly for the fragrance houses and the liquor houses. So as an example, something for Gucci or Prada, we'll be doing those across all the UK airports.
Right. Okay. I was chatting with Inktek, who are exhibiting here, and Inktek are an interesting company for me because not only are they a manufacturer of inks, they're a manufacturer of flatbed Jetrix printers, but they now also have their own range of speciality surface graphics materials. And I was chatting to Peter Davidson from Inktek yesterday, and he showed me a product called Natura, which has got what they call a repositionable low-tech adhesive, but when applied, after about an hour, it sets and it goes hard, so it's not likely to just peel off the wall or anything. So again, like Jeremy was saying, to remove it, you would just probably apply a bit of post-heating.
Yeah. Out of experience, we normally find that our customers will paint and decorate the surface, and as Jeremy well knows, you then go up and you try and stick some vinyl up, and then 2 days later it's fallen straight off, even though it adhered at the time. So on
the mercy of the wall.
Well, exactly. And with the video that you showed, Jeremy, the priming is the secret. If you do get that bit right, then it's everything's all downhill in my experience.
Who does the fitting for you?
We've got a few internal staff employed, but generally we go out to freelance companies. It's amazing how many clients want something installed at the same time on a certain day within retail.
Mm-hmm. With the fitters, if you're working perhaps with a new product or something like, say, Jeremy's product, will you then bring your fitters in and actually show them how it should be used, or just give them a tech sheet and expect them to know?
I'll be honest, it's just a tech sheet.
I figured.
And to be honest, where everything's so fast-paced, and I know preparation is the key to every successful job. But, a great example would be a customer's telling us that the wall's 20 metres long.
Yeah.
We'll print, let's say, 21 metres long. If it's, a generic image going across it. We'll even have a couple of extra drops put in there. And then you turn up and you start putting it in, and then you realise that the ceiling's not as level as the floor. And then you've got a slight adjustment you need to make to it. So it's really about having skilled staff, very equivalent to your hotel installation team, who know what they're doing.
Now, something I do know about you is that one of your clients is Coca-Cola company. Is that correct? Yeah.
That's correct. So, I've been working with Coca-Cola now for over 10 years. I look after a project where the field sales reps, and there's over 300 of them at Coca-Cola, go into pubs, hotels, clubs to some degree, restaurants, bars, even newsagents and supermarkets. And they offer them point of sale to try and promote what I call selling more syrup. And it's a free service for all the end vendors. And using Core Print, which is a V-Press technology, I'm producing about 500 orders a month, and that can be anything from 100 menus, where the field rep will go in and say, right, we'll have a baguette, a can of Coke, and a free packet of crisps, as an example. And it also has all the terms and legal terms on there. Go through for proofing, and then we've got, I wouldn't say, a handless production line. We're aiming to get to that, where, as an example, they will say, want these gloss lambs, want these matte lambs, so therefore when we print, we're batch printing to 2 different degrees, and then at the end of it, we're then compiling and collating the jobs as they go out. With regards there, we're using a DewSense technology for coating, which is very similar to some of your effects, which is an After Effects. So as an example, if it's the Coca-Cola logo, we're then enhancing that on the actual print as an option. So therefore, every order that comes through has to be carefully managed and put through the
print. Coca-Cola's not a company that
they will not tolerate.
Wrong with.
They do not tolerate any errors.
Yeah. In terms of the actual workflow, you're using a web-to-print system, or what do you use for that? Because one of the things that keeps cropping up on panel discussions and debates that I've been watching is manufacturers are urging more sign and display companies to get connected and go with web-to-print. But when I meet a lot of display companies and say, what MIS system are you using? They say, what's an MIS? And there seems to be this kind of on a packet of fags type approach.
I would say that would worry me. But there again, if a printer can, run their production without an MIS, then good luck to them. For me personally, I'd like to click a button and know how much money I've actually lost that day, as opposed to if I've made any money. And to do that, we have our own in-house developed application, which we use. It's based on FileMaker, which is a Mac and PC platform based platform. And with that, we've just written all our own modules, so it's absolutely customised for Kingswood and Kingswood Display.
So effectively, though, the supplier of that MIS would actually work with you and bespoke develop it hand in hand? Or?
No, I've personally written the software myself, so it is mine for the ground.
We'll be bringing it to market.
Yeah, it's been spoken about, but one of these sort of, to explain to you, sitting in a pub, and it'll be a couple of lines of code, or it now does this, and I'm now happy.
Yeah.
And that line of code, I can do. I can spend hours and not get it right.
Yeah.
And then sit in a relaxed environment and a couple of minutes, and I can't believe it's taken me hours to get there. Then that takes me away from my day-to-day running of the company. So I have to be very careful. Managing my time carefully.
I mean, I'm an advocate for it, so I tend to bang on about it a bit too much, I suppose. But I really do feel. I mean, what advice could you give to a display printing company that might be thinking about, well, maybe we need to do it? How will it benefit their business?
There's as an example, there's Fastons just behind the stand here. That's a very complex MIS system. In my opinion, probably about a year to integrate it. So once you've actually got your staff trained and there, you've got a whole year of investment, mainly in time as opposed to money. Now, the benefits you then get from that is that you can then, view profitability a lot more accurately, rather than wait for management figures at the end of each month, and by that point you're 2 or 3 weeks behind the curve. There are other companies out there with MI systems where they can quote clients in minutes, refer to quotes. They can then analyse and say, we've done 20 quotes for this client, there's no point in any more quotes because we haven't won any, or then we adjust the pricing. And it then works the other way, that if you've won 20 quotes, then you need to put your pricing up. So therefore, the reason that we use our own in-house system is that we can keep a close eye on that.
So it's really all about managing costs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's good. Now, the connectivity also plays a role when you're dealing with clients and retail type clients and things such as Coca-Cola and everything else, isn't it? So how does that actually work? Is it an agency, or what's the connection? Okay, so keeping it related to MIS, and to answer your question, with one of our largest accounts, I'm quite open about this, is World Duty Free. So this is a travel retail. Yeah. So inside the airports we have staff that are trained and are qualified to actually go in and install graphics. That is a definite plus point, because if you haven't got that, then you haven't got an option. We are up against 2 other printers, so it's a fair sort of system of quoting. And then what we would then do is that if we receive, as an example, 1,000 artworks for a campaign, we then have a thumbnail image production sheet, which then converts into a delivery note. So therefore, the client then sees exactly what they're getting as a thumbnail image, and no MI system out there does that. Okay, so you've... Kingswood Display is really where all the main wide format production is and everything else. So you've what did you say?
We've got two Vutex, 2 latexes, 2 Zs, and we also have one of each in London. We use a GMG colour management software. So one of our sort of medical accounts in London will order, let's say, 16 roller banners. They realise there's a typo on one. We're already shipping them in from Swanley into the client in London, normally overnight for the following morning. They're contacting us any chance we can have one for 10:30 in the morning. Staff will print one, it'll be colour managed at Clifton Street, and therefore we'll just replace it and charge the customer the earth for doing it.
So, are you looking at anything while you're up at the show? Is there anything caught your fancy?
No, I'll probably be selling more things than I'll be buying. So, but I will have a good look round. So
one of the things that I've been fascinated by is the 3D printer that's here from Massivit. Because with something like Jeremy's product and a little bit of for retail display.
I've viewed the Massivit at Drupa and I know CMY UK now have now got the UK licence or the distributor for it. It's a fantastic machine, very expensive. It's expensive to run. Not many people realise, the jollop that goes inside it. It does cost an awful lot of money.
You're breaking new ground with it, though.
That's the there's a couple of key companies out there, which I mentioned, Stylographics, who got involved in that right at the beginning, and they've had some huge success. And it's then saying to a cosmetic client, you can have a 6-foot bottle of perfume, and be able to produce it. The only issue that I have with that is you then have to finish it. So it's all very well it coming off the printer, but it's then what you then do as a secondary finishing, and therefore another investment.
Well, that's where Jeremy's products are going to come in. I mean, we're looking at Jimmy Choo, that sort of thing with the spangly bling, and the examples I've seen have been big shoes for shoe retail and so forth. So where are you looking for new inspiration and new products, and what are you doing with clients? Is it a process of you getting some inspiration and saying, I think this will really work for the client, or are you more led by them and their desires?
Yeah, I would say customer retention is paramount in the industry at the moment, and with that, it's better to have a good few large customers than it is to have many small ones. Where with Jeremy today, one of my clients, where at the moment I don't have the opportunity to sell them, let's say, surface graphics at Jeremy's sort of range, is now that would be a complimentary swatch book going in there and saying, oh, by the way, we can do this, especially with the installation scene that we've got. So I do feel quite inspired by today and meeting Jeremy, so I can, let's say,
Let me ask you now, just to sort of, are there trends in the retail market that you're picking up on that you feel that you need to respond to, or do you feel, well, we've got our finger on the pulse at the moment, but are they moving in any direction?
Nothing that I would say is groundbreaking by any means. It's just regularly keeping contact with the customer and just making sure you understand what they need. And get it right first time. So there's not really more that I can add to that on that, Colin. So
Jeremy, what would you do with something like a big 3D printed 6-foot bottle of perfume or something?
Belgian beer, maybe.
Exactly right.
Yeah.